This is Max Shears, a pro boxing fan. I'm about to join once again by Adam Smith. Adam, I want to start us a bit differently. Before we talk boxing, there's so many times that you see boxing on the highest level and you see commentators and stuff. I want to know, we've spoken about you being a young boy wanting to get into boxing. What was your light bulb moment, I've made it? What was your moment where you thought, I'm doing this, this is it?
That's a really good question. I'm a big Liverpool fan, so I'm going to go away from boxing. And I think walking into Anfield, into the media box with my microphone in a case and sitting down in one of the best seats at Anfield, it was Sports Saturday before Soccer Saturday in the old days at Sky, so doing a match report on Liverpool. I remember calling my dad and thinking, wow. When I was 4 or 5 years old and a Liverpool fan, and that was a wow moment. I also remember a funny one actually, walking in New York just before Vladimir Klitschko fought Sultan Ibragimov. It was actually a pretty poor heavyweight fight, but it was a unified world heavyweight fight. And I remember walking to the arena, and it was more when I was a junior commentator to my idol, one of my idols, Ian Darke, who was the main commentator at Sky at the time, and I had the chance of doing the heavyweight championship of the world. And I remember thinking, many years back, if it all stops tomorrow, I'll be a happy man. So yeah, there's a couple of those, but honestly, I'm just grateful to have after my cancer and everything, I'm just grateful to have a mic back in my hand and do what I love, all around the country or abroad at any level. I respect these fighters, whether they're the tournament fighters this Saturday, or Eubank Ben next week, or some of the greatest in the world in Riyadh the week after. I love it, and it's just, I'm really, really, I guess lucky, but I've worked hard, but I'm really pleased to be doing what I absolutely love in life and I've always loved. So talking about sport, being able to commentate on the fighters, on the people that I adore, who adore my walls. I did a darts event the other day. That's my secret world. I love the darts too, and that was really cool, working with Adrian Jackpot Lewis and Wayne Mardle, and it was really good. Yeah, so I'm really pleased to be doing what I love.
Definitely. Now let's talk the heist. GBM. Obviously, you've worked alongside GBM. You've helped promote it from the start, and now we've got something a bit different. And we were speaking off camera. When you get a tournament style, everyone loves it. Just seeing these shorter fights, these explosive, the faster pace. Whose idea was it?
I think it was Izzy or Mitch, but the original idea was Matchroom's Prize Fighter, which was a fantastic series. I think there were 40 odd brilliant nights, many at York Hall and at other venues around the country. And I remember Martin Rogan, the Belfast cabbie, won the first one at heavyweight. Audley Harrison, of course, won one. I remember Robert Lloyd Taylor I saw the other day, and his son's boxing now. I remember him coming in as a reserve and winning the whole thing. So they've always been good tournaments. Ben Shalom did a couple on Sky, boxer tournaments 3 or 4 years ago. So this is the first one in a while. I think it's the first one that's been on DAZN. I'll give Izzy credit, why not? He's the GBM boss, although Mitch does, and Alex Maver do all the work behind the scenes, Sarah Gold, loads of them. But yeah, I think I'll give that to Izzy. It's a great idea. It's something different. It's an opportunity for 8 young fighters to get huge profile, a crack at a big 25k cash prize, which is fantastic, and a chance to be live on DAZN and a chance to see how they fare in this. And I don't think there can be any losers from these tournaments. Like Taz Nadeem, people are saying, what if he loses? He's got a 7-0 record. He's one of the golden boys of GBM, but it doesn't matter. I mean, no one's predicting that someone will definitely win. That's the whole point. It is the unpredictable. Any one of the 8 could come through. And normally, as I've seen in the past in these tournaments, it's the top half of the draw does favour you because of the breaks and the rest, but also it's a case of whether you win that first round. If you win that first round, you've obviously, there's only 3, right? So if you win that first round, you get the head start. If you lost that first round, you're thinking, I need a knockdown or a knockout. You're chasing your tail. So that first round of every fight is so important. I think, obviously, a mixture of skills, power, speed, natural ability, but also fighting heart. It's got all of that. Plus, how do you utilise your breaks? How do you get your body reset for the next one? Will it come down to fitness, stamina? What kind of training the fighters have done? Will it favour the more amateur fighters or the ones with a great pedigree like Harris Khan, or will it favour maybe the ones that have had the longer professional experience like Liam O'Hare or S.A. Smith or Jermaine Brown, who are used to any sort of situation and can go back to the shorter fights, but also have the experience, because you've got to do 9 rounds if you win all on points, for example. So it's a case of pace, of rhythm, of momentum, a little bit of luck on the night, cuts as well. There's all sorts that can come into it. So the brilliant thing about this is that no one knows who's going to win. Not you, not me, not Izzy, not anybody. And it'll be a fantastic moment for whoever does, and they'll be right in the mix with the domestic super middleweights. And I think it's all about entertainment. And on DAZN, week in, week out, we've given fantastic fights, value for money, brilliant boxing all the time. You know, some of these shows have been immense over the summer and autumn periods. You know, just last week, obviously, a terrific bill in Manchester. Before that, I think it was the O2 with Parker and Wardley. Then it was before that Matchrooms at York Hall. Really, really good, solid shows. And here's a different one. It's a novel idea. Hull is a great venue. We were here in the summer. It'd be very loud, very atmospheric, and I think it's going to be great fun. Some big names as well coming to help us on the night, and really looking forward to it. So with my DAZN hat on, really delighted that we're getting thunderous action week in, week out. We've got Virgil Ortiz, one of my favourite fighters, fighting through the night as well. So November the 8th is a great night for boxing fans, and of course just before the build-up to the big one at Tottenham next week, the rematch between Eubank and Ben. So there'll be fireworks, not just last night, tonight, but all of next week too. And I think this will be a really good weekend of boxing. You've got a tournament show from Hull, and then Ortiz back in the ring in a good fight over in the States. And with my GBM sort of helping hat on, and I've loved working with Izzy and Mitch and the team, and we have a fun time. They're a great group. I think GBM have had a brilliant year. There's the show in Rotterdam as well at the end of the month, which has Gradis Kraus, who's one of the best prospects in the world, I think, at light heavyweight, returning in front of his beloved Dutch fans. That'd be fun. But I think we've had a really good year at GBM. We've seen some fighters develop, some great stories, some really good clashes, some wonderful nights, some difficult ones where we've had to change top of the bills at the last minute, and something that every promoter I think goes through. And Izzy and Mitch have had a really successful 2025, and we can only go from strength to strength in 2026. So enjoying helping GBM and loving being on DAZN week in, week out. A great team. Enjoy working with Darren and Barry so much, and Carl Frampton and Tony Bellew and Addy, and the team are brilliant. So I'm loving life at the moment, and I'm very, very grateful.
We've seen Oleksandr Usyk's camp, and there's reports that maybe AJ will be linking up there. AJ doesn't fight like Usyk, so what could that link up do? Is it the discipline of, like I said, you've been in that camp, you've seen how it works. What could that camp offer if the reports are true?
Yeah, I actually was out the loop a bit last week because we had a loss in the family, unfortunately. But I was in Manchester, obviously, for the Zach Parker Buatsi fight, of which I thought Zach won, and I felt for him. And we were sort of talking about that, and somebody said, "Oh, have you seen the reports online about AJ and Usyk?" And I looked at Andy Levada, my partner in the Voice of Boxing. He, of course, is Ukrainian, and we're very close to the Usyk team. And he'd known about it for ages. They hadn't even told me, and I was like, "What?" I think Oleksandr Usyk's training camp is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in boxing. In 3 decades of working in this sport, Floyd Mayweather's the greatest fighter I've seen in the gym and greatest fighter I've seen live. I would say Joe Calzaghe from over here is right up there. But Oleksandr Usyk I just couldn't believe it when I went to Gandia in Spain. I had a few days over there. I was right inside the camp, watching him in anything, in tennis, in his acrobatics, in swimming. He's a world-class swimmer. But just the attention to detail in the camp. It reminded me of an old Emmanuel Stewart training camp. We obviously had Tommy Hearns and then Lennox Lewis, and the sort of amount of people that were there and all had a specific role to play. Nothing is left to chance. Oleksandr telling me it's all about dedication, not talent. And I think if AJ he obviously wants to fight again, and I think if he wants to give himself the best chance, I mean, he's been with Ben Davidson, who I think is one of the great trainers in the world. But maybe he's got a busy factory there, hasn't he, with the likes of Pat McCormack shining and Moses Italma and Fabio, obviously so many, that maybe AJ feels he just needs something slightly different. I mean, it's an incredible camp to be in. They've got professors in there, doctors, all sorts. I won't give it all away, but it's phenomenal, and I think it will be a very interesting and shrewd move from Anthony if he wants to do that. I've said to Moses time and time again, don't fight Usyk, don't think about that, go and train alongside him and learn from the best southpaw of our generation. Okay, Vasily might argue, but learn from the best, certainly cruiserweight, heavyweight southpaw of the generation. That's what Moses is, a southpaw. AJ's not, but he's fought Usyk twice. Why not? Why not go over and join the guys that he can't quite get past to reignite him for 2026 and maybe a big fight with Tyson Fury? It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? And I should be on the phone finding out what's happening. I'll leave them to it, and it'd be nice to go and see them if that is actually happening.